You don't miss them. You miss the version of them that never actually existed. And that truth is why you still think about them every night. Right before you fall asleep, when the world finally goes quiet, their name shows up in your mind like a ghost. You replay old messages, old jokes, old moments that felt like magic. You wonder if they think about you too. You check your phone even when you know nothing will be there. And somehow, the silence hurts more than the breakup ever did. Because deep down, you're not grieving the person. You're grieving the future you imagined with them. The trips you never took. The mornings you never woke up to. The life you never got to live. And that loss feels unbearable. So you tell yourself, they were special. They were my person. I'll never feel that way again. But here's the painful truth. If they were really your person, they wouldn't have left you confused, anxious, and begging for clarity. You weren't abandoned by love. You were abandoned by a fantasy. And fantasies are the hardest things to let go of. Because reality ends relationships, but fantasy keeps them alive. The Stoics warned about this. Epictetus said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." You're not suffering because they're gone. You're suffering because you keep feeding a story that isn't real anymore. A version of them who would have changed. A version of them who would have chosen you. A version of them who would have finally loved you the way you needed. That person never existed. And admitting that feels like losing them all over again. So your mind does something cruel. It edits the past. It keeps the good moments, deletes the disrespect, deletes the anxiety, deletes the nights you cried alone wondering why you weren't enough. You don't remember how small you felt, how uncertain you were, how you were always afraid to say the wrong thing. You only remember the warmth, and warmth is addictive. That's why you still stalk their socials. That's why one photo can ruin your entire day. That's why one dream about them can break you all over again. You're not in love with them anymore. You're in love with the memory of who you were when you felt chosen. That version of you felt alive, hopeful, important. And now without them, you feel empty. So you confuse missing yourself with missing them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about others. And yet every night, you're still living in a life that already ended." Here's the moment everything changes. The day you accept this. They are not coming back as the person you need. Even if they text you tomorrow, even if they apologize, even if they say all the right words, it will never be what your fantasy promised. Because the fantasy was built on potential, not behavior, and behavior is the only truth. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." You are suffering because you are still loyal to a story that already betrayed you. And loyalty to the wrong story will destroy your future. But here is the healing truth nobody told you. You don't need closure from them. You need closure from the fantasy, from the imaginary version of them who finally loved you the right way. When you let that version die, your pain finally starts to die too. And something terrifying happens next. You feel empty, not heartbreak empty, identity empty. Because for months, maybe years, your entire emotional life revolved around them, your motivation, your hope, your future. So when they left, they took your direction with them. That's why nights feel unbearable. That's why mornings feel pointless. That's why you feel lost. But listen to me carefully now. This is not the end of your love story. This is the end of your self-betrayal era. This is the moment you stop romanticizing people who made you feel uncertain about your worth. This is the moment you choose reality over fantasy. Stoicism teaches this. Do not attach your peace to what is temporary. Do not attach your identity to someone who can walk away. Your future partner will not make you feel confused, will not make you beg for reassurance, will not make you feel like you're too much. They will feel calm, safe, boring in the best way. And until that person appears, your job is not to wait. Your job is to become unrecognizable, to rebuild your body, your mind, your discipline, your standards, to turn this pain into power. So one day, when they cross your mind again, it won't hurt. It will feel distant, like remembering a life that no longer belongs to you. And you will finally understand you didn't lose them. You lost an illusion. And losing illusions is how real life begins.